Hi, this is National Master Aaron Cooper from Canada, and I'm going to solve 3 tactical chess puzzles on a website called Chess Tempo. Chess Tempo is a great website because it has a lot of free resources, so do check them out. In the meantime, come see if you can help me solve these 3 tactical puzzles. Okay, so here's puzzle number 1, and the first thing that we notice is that our queen is attacked by the rook, so we have to address that. The other thing that comes to mind is the white king only has one square that it can go to, as these 2 other squares are covered by our pieces. So what we'd like to do is deliver one more check, and that would be checkmate. How can we do that? Well, what I like to do is I like to, in these situations, think about where I could move a piece if I could just lift it up off the board and plunk it on a square. So which piece would that be and where? In this case, I'd love to be able to plunk down our queen onto h8 because that would deliver checkmate. So how do we achieve that? Well, in order to get to h8, it looks like we've got 2 squares. These 2 squares are possible. Which one's better? Let's look at b8. If we go to b8, white has rook a8, and that's going to deny us from ever going down the rank, so we would have to bring the queen back up. Obviously, that's not helping. What about queen d8? If rook a8 again, this is the difference. Bishop b8 blocks the rook, and the next move, we can bring the queen over, and that would be checkmate. Now, this is why when I played this, the computer took on f7. And we're up a rook. So did you get that one? Nice job if you did. Let's move on to puzzle number 2. Here's puzzle number 2, and white has just taken our pawn. Queen takes c7, and we notice that our rook is hit by the queen. What other things can we notice? Well, the white king has no safe squares. All these squares are covered by our pieces. So if we were to just deliver one check, it'd be checkmate, right? The first move that comes to mind is queen a1. That's a check. Unfortunately, it relinquishes the queen's control over d2. Therefore, white can play king d2 in that case. So is there any way that we can prevent white from getting to d2? Queen here first. They'd have to block with the knight. Then we could come back, and that would be checkmate. So this is pretty cool. White's own piece gets in the way, and we have checkmate. Awesome. Now let's move on to puzzle number 3. Okay, last but not least, it's puzzle number 3. So the first thing I like to do is evaluate the king safety. Black's king is fairly safe. It's got these 2 squares that it can go to, and we really only have the one piece surrounding it, so we're not going to get a checkmate on that king. What about our own king? Well, black has a knight that's deep in our camp, and in particular, knight f3 is a move we have to watch out for. That would be a fork. Any other pieces that we need to evaluate? Well, the rook on c8 is undefended. So the first move that we need to consider is what happens if we just take the rook. Knight f3 is a reasonable reply. King f1, knight takes the rook, and then our king takes the knight. We're up a knight, right? Well, yes, but knight takes rook is not forced. Black could play bishop to d3. So we have to look at all of black's options before we make an assessment. That would be a check. So let's put those moves on the board and see where that takes us. So here we go. Bishop check. We're currently up a rook, but our other rook is under attack by the knight, and we are under fire from the black bishop. Well, if we go here, then knight takes rook check. Black does get the rook for free. We have a rook, they have a rook, it's a fair trade. Is there any other move we could consider? We could come up here. So if bishop takes, we take back, we're happy. We're up a bishop in that case. Can black put any more pressure on this rook? Well, knight g1, we just take it. What about knight d4? Knight d4 does put a second attacker, but fortunately we have knight takes d4 there. And so after takes, we count the material. We would have two knights and a rook. Black would only have a single rook. So let's put that on the board. And in fact, I meant to say knight takes bishop, not king takes. Two knights extra versus a rook. So that was a little more involved, that puzzle. So give yourself a huge round of applause if you got it. And that's it for our puzzles today. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give me a like. Subscribe to the channel, please, because I'll do more of these videos. And in particular, please put a comment on the video. I'm trying to grow the channel, and I welcome feedback. Even if you didn't like the video. I'm always looking for constructive criticism. So thank you very much. And until next time, happy chessing, everybody.